Benvenuto! Welcome to Cherry Hill Home Cooking. My name is Mark. Today we're going to make stuffed peppers and we're also going to make a soft polenta to go along with it. So what we're going to need for the stuffed peppers is we need a pound and a half of lean ground beef. We need 4 large bell peppers. These aren't that large. I wish I could have gotten them a little bit bigger. I don't know if we're going to get all the stuffing in there, but you need 4 large bell peppers. Any color, red, green, yellow, whatever your preference is. We need a cup of cooked rice. Okay, so a cup of cooked rice. You're going to need to start rice with a half a cup of rice, and then you're going to use a cup and a half of water to cook the rice, a little bit of salt. I happen to cook that in vegetable stock. You can do that in vegetable stock or water. We've made rice before, but anyway, always remember when you're cooking rice, it's 1 part rice, 2 parts water or liquid. Then we're going to need 3 cups of tomato sauce, your favorite store-bought or jarred sauce. This happens to be my homemade sauce. We're going to need some Italian seasoning, salt, pepper, some granulated garlic. We need some good Parmigiano Reggiano cheese, and then we've got some mozzarella, and last but not least, I don't know if I said, but we need a cup of onion. Okay, that's the ingredients. Let's get cooking. Okay, as you can see, I've already prepared 3 of my peppers. Couldn't it be easier? You just want to cut off the top. I always try to cut off as little as possible to save as much pepper, but enough to get the in at the insides. And I just cut off those 2 the little things holding together. You want to take the seeds out, and you can see there's a little bit of membrane and seeds left in there. Just go ahead and pick that out as much as you can without breaking the pepper. Give it a good tap. There's 1 seed down the bottom there. There we go. All right, that should be good. And we need a cup of onion. This is a sweet onion. You can use any kind of onion you'd like, a Spanish, yellow, white, whatever the case may be. I'm not going to be too picky about chopping this, but I want them small enough pieces that it's going to cook well, so we'll cut that in 3. We are going to fry these so they'll soften up. Okay, we're going to start on our filling mixture, so I'll meet you at the stove in a minute. Okay, so I'm starting with a warm skillet. I've got this on medium right now. Just going to put a little tiny bit of, this happens to be canola oil. You can use olive oil if you'd like as well. And I'm going to just throw our onions in there, get them on the heat, and started cooking a bit. This is all going to cook in with our ground beef, so we don't have to really give this a long cook, but get them coated in the oil. Okay, and I'm going to turn my heat up to high at this point. I'm going to stand right here, so I'll be with it, so I'm not worried about it burning, but I just want to get that beef getting a little color on it, so I'm going to start on high. You get it a little browned. So that's probably going to take a good 5 minutes to get to the point where I want it. So I'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, it's been just about 5 minutes. You can see our ground beef is nicely browned. A little bit of crust on the bottom. That's perfect. So now I'm just going to shut off the heat. Now would be a good time to set your oven. So I'm going to set the oven to 400 and start. Okay, I've shut the heat off because this is all cooked. Everything else we're going to put in there is cooked. You don't need any more heat. So I'm going to move it over a little bit. Get it off the heat. I'm going to put our Italian seasoning, our pepper, salt, and granulated garlic. Then a nice stir. And we can add our rice in. This is jasmine rice. That happens to be my favorite rice, so I use that most of the time for a recipe that calls for rice. A little bit more in, although I don't think this is going to fill all of our peppers because they're on the small side. Should have bought a few more, but since this recipe is for 4, I didn't want to confuse anybody. Also, if you want to make this recipe a little lighter, you certainly could use ground turkey or ground chicken in place of the ground beef. If you wanted to make it meatless, I'd double the rice, so a cup of rice. And then with that you could add maybe some peas or carrots to, or peas or corn to it if you'd like. All right, and sprinkle in our parmigiano reggiano, and we'll stir that in, and I'll be back, meet you over at the counter, and we'll put it all together. Okay, before we put everything together, I'm going to give it a quick taste. Just make sure it's got enough salt and pepper and everything. Perfect. Okay, so you need an 8-ounce square pan, glass, metal, whatever you happen to have. You're going to probably end up about using anywhere to 2 to 3 cups. This pan, the sides are flared out, so okay, I'm going to put in first. Then you can take your nice filling, fill your pepper in nice. I like to pack it down in there as much as possible. This recipe probably, serves 4 if you look at a serving as 1 pepper, along with the polenta we're going to have, or a nice salad. That's a very nice meal. This is gonna, like I said, if these were slightly larger, we would have gotten all of that in there. We won't let this go to waste. This would be really good with some scrambled eggs in the morning. Actually, look at that. I might get it all in, well, a good portion of it. I'm going to go back and kind of top them a little bit more. You have a little bit running over the sides. All right, and my oven isn't quite preheated enough because it preheats very slowly. Now we're going to cover these with tin foil tightly. Oops, almost forgot. Need to put a little bit of more sauce on the top. Don't want it to dry out. That's a 4-cup container of my sauce, and we've used just about 3 cups. All right, now you want to cover it tightly with the tin foil. And then we're going to bake that in the 400-degree oven for about 40 minutes until the peppers are tender. You know, that how tender the peppers are is, you know, your choice. I like them a little bit al dente, so to speak. I don't want them to fall apart when I take it out. And I'm just gibbering because my stove has not reached 400 degrees yet. But why don't we go and clean up a little bit, and as soon as it comes to 400, we'll throw it in the oven. Okay, we're finally at 400. So we're going to put it on in the middle rack, in the middle of the oven, for 40 minutes, or again, check it, maybe about at 35 minutes. See how the peppers are. For making this recipe, I know that 40 minutes is usually what I like it to cook at. No, and I have not forgotten the mozzarella cheese. After the 40 minutes, we're going to remove the tin foil, sprinkle the mozzarella cheese on it, and throw it back in the oven for about 5 minutes till it browns. So, okay, Google, set the oven timer for 40 minutes.
40 minutes, starting now.
And we'll see you all in 40 minutes. Tonight we're going to be having polenta with our stuffed peppers. So I'm just going to go over it quickly. We'll make a batch together, but we will go into polenta more thoroughly in future videos. So anyway, basically what you need for polenta is some stone ground yellow cornmeal. You need some type of liquid. You can use water, you can use chicken stock, beef stock, vegetable stock. I'm going to use beef stock today because we're using hamburger in our stuffed peppers. I will warn you though, when you use a darker stock, it's going to change the polentas from that, the cornmeal from that beautiful yellow to a kind of a murky brown. But anyway, it's really good. Of course, you need some good Parmigiano Reggiano. You need some regular table salt, fine salt, and you need some butter. That's really all you need for polenta. So let's meet over at the stove and get this batch going. Alrighty, so you can see we've got our 4 cups of stock or liquid has come to a boil. I'm going to throw our salt in there. Give it a little stir around. Now, of course, I have this on high to bring it to a boil. I've turned it down to probably about medium high. We still want it to be bubbling, but it doesn't have to be at a really, really hard boil. So then you want to enter your polenta in slowly. And you got to stand here and constantly stir it, or you're going to end up with lots of lumps. I think I may have, earlier, I called polenta Italian grits. Well, I don't know if that's historically accurate because certainly Italians got corn from the Native Americans. So, and it also, I think I've read something, the Native Americans made a pudding out of cornmeal. But anyway, corn certainly is not native to Italy. So again, we want to just keep stirring this. And I turned it down a little bit too much. Grits is one of those, or polenta is one of those things I think a lot of people don't make at home because it does, it seems difficult or it takes a while because you do have to stand here for a good 10, 15 minutes stirring it. I don't know if I ever get totally lumpless polenta, but I don't mind a couple lumps in there. And again, so you're going to have to stand here, and it's going to take a good 10 minutes. As you can see, as it thickens, it starts to bubble, and it becomes like molten lava. So watch out. See? Oh, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. But the secret to it is just to stand here and stir. At some point, you're probably going to have to switch to a wooden spoon because it starts to get thick. But again, you can see how thick that has already become. Now, if you used water, it's going to be a brighter yellow. I use beef stock, so of course it's taken on the color of the stock. So at this point we're down to maybe just about a little over medium. And I'm going to turn it to medium.
Starting to burn?
Yes, yeah, definitely. That's why at this point you want to sit there and stand over it and stir it because it will burn very quickly. And mine is, and I'm going to turn it to low. I'm going to take that off the heat while that adjusts a little bit. You can see how much that is thickened. I do have a few lumps in there. That's what trying to talk and watch it at the same time was a little bit difficult, but let's shut this lid off entirely and turn this on low. All right, so you can see how much that has thickened. Now, I use polenta a lot. I make a polenta lasagna, which will make, when you do a polenta lasagna, you do a hard polenta, and then you let it overnight in the fridge. It'll firm up, and then you slice it and you use that instead of lasagna noodles, and it is delicious. All right, so now at this point, it's on low. You want to cover it, and I leave it slightly ajar. Now you're going to want to keep a pretty close eye on this. So you're going to want to come back every 2, 3, 4 minutes and give it a stir. And you're going to leave it covered there for about 15 minutes or so, I think. All right, we'll be back shortly and we'll finish it up. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes that I've had it on low. I've given it a stir every couple minutes. You can see it's thickened up quite a bit. Polenta is one of those things you got to make it a few times and get the feel of it. I wish I could tell you exactly how long every time, but my grandmother, when she showed me how to make it, she just told me to leave it on low and stir it until it was creamy and the polenta was, the grain was soft. So of course, like anything, you want to take a quick taste for salt anyway. Delicious, and it's soft. It's got a little bit of texture to it, a little bit of graininess, but it's soft. Right, then we want to add our 3 tablespoons of butter. I add them in 1 tablespoon at a time. And turn our heat off at this point. The butter just kind of gives it, you don't have to put the butter in, but the butter, of course, gives it a little bit of richness. And for that mouthfeel of the butter. You can see it came out pretty creamy. I don't have that many lumps in it at all. Now at this point it's more or less done. We've still got about 6 or 7 minutes or so for the green peppers. So I'm not going to add my Parmigiano Reggiano in quite yet. I'm going to do that right before we serve it. But I'm going to shut off the heat, put the cover on, and it'll hold until we're ready to have dinner. Like I said, we got about 5 minutes left before our stuffed peppers are done. See you in a little bit. Okay, it's been 40 minutes. Let's take it out, test the tenderness of our peppers, see if they're where we want them. Yep, to me that's perfect. It's got a little bit of a give to it, but a little bit of a, it's still not completely done through. All right, so you want to spread your mozzarella on there, depending upon how much you like. This is about 4 ounces of mozzarella. Okay, and then I'm going to leave the oven at 450, and we're going to put it back in to the oven for about 5 minutes. Get the cheese all melted. And then it will be time to eat. See you in a little bit. Okay, ready to go. Take it out of the oven. Ooh, look at that. Okay, so this would be a good time to finish up our polenta. Throw our cheese in. Give it a whisk. There we go. And we are just about ready to eat. See you in a little bit, and we'll give it a taste. Okay, let's eat. I am painfully aware that the polenta is not the most attractive food color in the world. It's kind of taken on a little color of like a beige, but it's only because of the beef stock. Anyway, dig in. Got it right now.
Oh, that smells good. Oh my goodness.
Oh, look at all of that.
Mmm. It's delicious.
Good?
Yeah.
That is quite good.
Nice job. Good job.
Thank you so much. Trying to get just some of my pepper on filling. Well, it's hot.
Peppers are just
Delicious.
the right texture on the peppers.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm so good. Well, I hope you have enjoyed watching us make this video as much as we have enjoyed making it. More importantly, I hope that you make it and put your own spin on it, or follow my recipe to the T. I think you'll really enjoy it. Don't forget, what's the website name?
CherryHillHomeCooking.com.
You can get the full recipe there, the full written recipe. Also, if you do happen to watch this video, please hit like, and I'd love you to subscribe.
Yep.
Ciao.
Bye.
That's delicious.
That's really good. Why do you wait to put the cheese in them later?
Well, it's just going to get hard. You know, this one is supposed to be a soft polenta. You put it in too long, it's going to cool down a bit.
Delicious.
It is, thank you.